Hey folks, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley, and I'm leaving the office. I'm heading home. It's a pretty busy day today. Although I didn't have court, I was working on some documents. And there's one thing that I forgot to work on. But one of my major cases is getting close to an end. And I think I don't want to jinx it. I'm hoping for a spectacular result, but we're going to find out probably in the next few days. I received today, I had a client, very nice client, send me some calendars from Hawaii. Pretty stoked. And a nice box of chocolate and a super nice card. And well, traffic's about to go, but the card says something, your kindness from day one has been greatly appreciated. Wishing you all the best, you and yours. And just very nice, you know. They don't have to do that. It's kind, it's appreciated. And you know, I'm going to work hard regardless, but it is nice. Every so often when a client writes something special or sends you a small gift, it's cool. I just got an expungement in from a young lady that I helped. I had got that case down, worked in a store, started stealing money, got away with it. They kind of got out of control, and popular chain of stores. Not going to say the name, but when I say like a Publix, a Walmart, a like a big store, chain store, and young lady just made a mistake, got caught up in it, and then family ended up hiring me. I was able to convince the chain of command, management, corporate, to work. I got the state to drop the felony down to a misdemeanor, and then the misdemeanor into a diversion, the case dismissed, and then ultimately they hired me to do the expungement, and I just got that completed. As I was walking out the door, I just got mail about 4 o'clock, but I was in meeting, so I'll probably send an email first thing in the morning, or maybe even when I get home, just to let the client know, hey, success, your record is now expunged. And got a motion to suppress coming up on a stand your ground, and had a potential client contact me, and it's every once in a while you get a case where someone calls you, right, and it's they're scouting, right, they're trying to make a determination if you're the right attorney for them, and maybe they'll do an hour paid consultation. And this person called me, and they have a case that I'm very interested in. It's a technical case. It's the judge that it's in front of. It's a very hard sale. Like, there's certain judges that they're just respectfully denied, Mr. Foley, with that super serious basis. But I think that this case has a lot of arguments, and they're arguments that people want to hear about. And if I end up getting the case, and if I'm successful or not successful, I may ask the client to allow me to talk about it. Obviously, no one really cares when you're super successful, but some people do. I've had people say, I had a young lady call me, and anyway, we'll see what happens with that case. But I had a young lady who I represented her boyfriend, and I can't remember his case. I couldn't remember the client's name, but I remember her, and she had a case, and I was able to get the case dismissed. and she did a video review, right? If you guys are on my YouTube and you see all the testimonials, and some of them I've changed names because I was, after like 130 or whatever testimonial videos, I just kind of forget which number, and I'm not, my time isn't on YouTube. It's more a give back and a release sometimes. But I don't know, she was she said, hey, thank you so much, and Foley's the greatest, and he represented me, and he represented my boyfriend, and our cases, my case was dismissed. I don't remember what happened with the boyfriend's case, so I don't want to embellish. And I don't know, 4 years later, 5 years later, she calls me up out of the blue, and she just goes, hey, my life is really different now, and I know you have that YouTube video on, and can you take it down? And of course, she already gave me permission and all that, and I'm not that guy. I just said, okay, I wish she'd do another review and talk about something else, but it is what it is. I do personal injury too, right? But it's weird. I don't really ask the personal injury clients to do a review. I don't know. It's kind of a different thing, right? It's like, it's an injury. It's a death, or it's something harmful to them, right? Hey, he got me X amount of dollars. I get it, and I see the commercials, but sometimes I don't know. I don't really ask for that, and none of my personal injury clients have ever been like, hey, can I do a video for you? It just doesn't do it. So, I don't know. But anyway, well, more crazy drivers. I really got to get the driving cam for forward and reverse, so it can just do the road, and I can combine all the videos, and you can see the folks that you probably see when you're driving that just drive erratic and crazy. So anyway, it's only Monday. Month of January went well. Had several cases, bunch of dismissals, and I find I'm being more selective in my cases. And when I say selective in my cases, I don't mean like what I can win and what I can't win. I mean personality, crime. And I'll give you an example. This is just like off the cuff. I was reading. I'll put it this way. I was reading a case in Florida, and I just said, I could never take that case. And it was this person, allegedly, right? I mean, again, I'm reading the police report, and I don't have the police report in front of me. But basically, this person was from a foreign country, and allegedly they made calls with some other people and scammed an older person out of a bunch of money. And when you read the police report, right, it's this person's aspect, but but apparently they colluded with other people, some in the country, some out of the country, which you could probably argue like federal case, right? And they conned, those people that call you on the phone and they go, hi, your computer has a problem, and they scam you, or they call you and they have an accent and they're clearly not, and I don't want to say American because I don't want people to say I'm like racist or whatever, but there's certain groups and certain people that they're stereotypes for a reason, right? I suck at being politically correct, right? But there's certain people, when you hear their voice, right, because of their nationality or their background, maybe someone like me, a Caucasian, white, Italian guy with an Irish name, maybe someone in my geographic would go, yeah, sorry, buddy, not interested, right? Because you get a cold call. and it's and you see this, you see on YouTube where the scammers get, there's some computer nerd who can jack into their computer and hack into their computer and show their camera and blah blah blah. But there are lots of people in the U.S. that are scammed, right? It could be I don't know, an Arab country, it could be a Latin country, right? And there's these different scams that go on, and they usually target old people. Well, anyway, that's what this scam was. It was one of these things, and said that they needed, and this person goes and they convince, an elderly person to get money, bank it, that they're going to send someone to the house, and they're going to come through, and they're going to hand it to that person, and then that person's going to drive away. And they scam, little old lady, a little old couple, a little old man, out of, I don't know, like $15,000, $20,000. Guess what, folks? I can't take that case. You know what? Maybe it makes me a bad defense attorney, right? But it makes me a solid person. I'm sorry, I'm not taking that case. And there's cases that people have come into my office over the years, and I had one gentleman that was, like a contractor of some type, and he's going like, he's working on one, and then he's getting another one, but he's already spent the money on the first one, so he uses the money from the second deposit to pay for the materials on the first one that he's already spent, or sniffed up his nose, or whatever it may be, mismanaged, whatever it may be. And this perpetual scam, right? It usually ends up in economic crimes, or in a certain division within the state attorney's office. I remember that guy coming into my office years ago doing something like that, and I said, "You're going to prison." "What do you mean?" The guy down the street said that, I said, "You might want to hire the guy down the street, because in my mind, based on my experience, based on my logic, based on my experience, you're going to prison. It's just a matter of how long you're going to prison. So the only thing you can hire me to do is to mitigate and reduce your sentence." Of course, that guy hated me, didn't hire me, hired the guy down the street who told him whatever he wanted to be told, and I looked it up, and he went to prison for a long, long time. And someone got paid for that. Holy crap. Road rage. Two cars like this, they're both, and they're fighting with each other, so the pickup truck almost ran into him. I wish it was on video so you could see it. I'm really going to buy that camera. I just don't know how to hook the damn thing up. So if you're a guy watching or a girl watching my YouTube video, you know how to hook that stuff up, tell me where your shop is or whatever, and I'll buy it and put it in, because I really want a camera in and out that goes up to the cloud. Anyway, so he didn't hire me. And then I had, just a few weeks ago, I had someone, they called me, and I don't even know, I get so many phone calls, guys, I'm not kidding you, 30 to 70 calls a day. I'm a one-man army. I take every call. I have a receptionist, but I take every call. I don't even remember the facts, but I remember just thinking, it's probably an animal case. I've gotten a few of those lately. I got one the other day. But anyway, this person calls me, and I go, "I'm sorry, it's not a case that I can take." "What do you mean it's not a case you can take?" I thought you do criminal defense. This kind of charge is on your website. All of a sudden the person becomes outraged. And I don't know, what's the politically correct way of saying I shouldn't judge, but I'm using the information you just told me about yourself to think in my mind that you're a piece of shit, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. And if my case goes to a jury trial, and I sit there and go, I put my hands on your shoulder like I usually do on my clients, and go, "It's my friend John. Mr. Smith, the first day he came into my office, but as the case has progressed over the year, and I've learned about John, I've learned a lot about John, and I've learned about his family, and I learned about his religious affiliation, and I've learned a lot of things about him. And today we're going to talk about what the state is alleging. They're alleging that John, my friend, committed a crime. And they're going to have to prove these elements, A, B, C, D. And I'm going to tell you, John didn't do that. And I could just sit here and I could be quiet because we don't have any burden. I don't have to prove his innocence. But I like to talk, folks, and I'm going to rebut, and I'm going to cross-examine, and I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to submit evidence. And at the end, I think you're all reasonable people. I think you're going to come back and go, yeah, the state has not met its burden. The state has not proved beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt that Mr. Smith, Roger's friend, the attorney's friend, John, that he did it. They just, there's not enough evidence. It's possible that he did it. Might even be a 50-50. Hell, you might think that it's highly likely that he did it. But you're going to agree that it's not to the burden of proof that they're required and what this judge is going to tell you that they need to prove. So I'll be asking you to come back with a not guilty. I can't do that for someone who I think is a total piece of shit. I just can't. People have called me a hired gun. People have told me, hey, you're just in it for the money. I'm in it to make a living, and I want to take care of my family, and I want to be successful. But I don't want to sell my soul, and I haven't. 20 years in the biz, 20 years, and I haven't sold my soul. Little piece of my soul has floated out of my body on each case, on each motion, on each debate with a prosecutor, with each trial, with the negotiating and the finagling within the system to go within the rules to advocate zealously. I enjoy that. Not every day. I enjoy helping a good person. I can condemn acts, but I don't condemn a man or a woman. But when someone comes in and tells me, and I ask them questions and I cross-examine them in my office, and I do this, folks, right? Like if you ever hired me, like I do it, all my clients would tell you. I go, look, you're doing a free consultation or you're doing a paid consultation. I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to talk to you like your brother, and we might have arguments when you hire me, about how to handle something or debate on a particular issue. You got to make sure you're good with me, and I got to make sure I'm good with you. It's not just like whoever writes a check or zells me, I'm taking the case. I can tell you right now, you hear how many calls I get. No, there are days, especially like even in January, half the time I'm not in court. I'm writing a motion, I'm making a presentation to a prosecutor to advocate. But I'm not in court every single day, not every single day, because I'm becoming more and more selective. Because there's a lot of darkness, man. There's a lot of darkness. And I'm okay handling a dark case, right? Shootings, drug trafficking, human trafficking. Like I've had like every kind of case. Never had a murder. Had shootings, had stabbings, had a bunch of 10-20 life cases. But manslaughter, I just the cases that I've had, but I also want to have a good client, someone who cares, someone who acknowledges whatever bad they may have done, right? Because sometimes they've done something guilty, sometimes they haven't. I mean, have I represented the purely innocent client, like 100% innocent? In my mind, I can think of one person, 100% innocent. Considering the percentage of cases that have gotten dismissed, apparently are way out of the average. I can tell you a lot of cases that were dismissed, they were guilty or guilty of something, and it was a mistake by the state or the judge, or whatever it may be. Just because, and this is what bothered me in a recent YouTube video where someone made a comment, and they were like, just because, this is the reality, and I had a judge say this to a client right after a jury trial. Sir, you better thank him. I almost got the judge almost held me in contempt during his trial. You should be thanking him, because as far as I'm concerned as a judge, listening to the evidence, you were guilty and were likely going to be incarcerated today. State, Mr. Foley, pulled some veteran tricks on you and got, was that person innocent? No. They made an argument about a medication, and talking about that medication, that it just happens to be that the judge was on that same medication. And I turned it into, a prop for my trial. And then I talked about protecting and serving, and why wasn't he protecting and serving my client, seeing that there was a medication that he didn't know what it was, and that my client could have had an allergic reaction, and I made my whole case about a DUI, about a medication, and it turned out that the judge sent the jury out of the room, and he said, Foley, if you say it again, I go, Judge, like, what? If you say the medication again, I go, how do I say it? Like, do I say the pills? Do I say, right? And then he said, Deputy, and like the bailiff came behind me, and he said, Roger, please, like, stop. Like, and I said, Judge, how do I advocate without using the word as part of the theme of my case? And like, I almost got arrested that day. But that client was guilty of sin. He was guilty of sin. But this person on my YouTube video goes, like the police and the system. You know how many innocent people go free? A lot. Probably a lot more than guilty people go to prison. Just so you know. Anyway, that's my thought on it. Today was just a rambling as I go home. I'm in a good mood. I'm talking about the wonderful clients, the clients that I accept, to being a little bit more selective, right? Just being a little bit more selective in the clients. It's not just about the money. Money is nice, but I got to live with myself. I got to look myself in the mirror. I'm a guy that believes in God. I believe in Jesus, the man upstairs, and I can't. I'm not perfect. I'm a sinner. Don't get me wrong. We're all sinners. I get it. But some of the stuff that comes through my office that I hear about, and again, a lot of these cases I don't talk about because the facts are so, like, it would be easy for someone to be like, oh, well, I did a consult with this person or something. I don't want to deal with any of that. But there's some really dark people that do some really dark shit. And defense attorneys hear it. And some are okay. Molest a child, I'm not your guy. I don't even want to do the sex cases with pictures. No, I don't. Animals, we talk about it. So being selective, costs me money. But you know what it does? It keeps my heart good. And it keeps me it continues to allow me, for the clients I take, to pull every possible avenue, every defense that I could come up with, thinking in the box, out of the box. It allows me to represent my clients like just with a zest and a hunger, like it's my first week on the job. And it does. Come on, you guys see, I make the YouTube videos. I'm always talking about something. I really do care, and I really do want to help. And I take clients that are totally guilty, and sometimes I can make them walk away, and sometimes I can get it changed. But I know that I make a difference because every client tells me that. The reviews speak for themselves, right? The referrals speak to themselves. You remember, I'm not a guy that advertises. I don't advertise. So anyway, I'm happy, I'm grateful, I'm blessed, and I'm selective. So that was my rambling on my I'm almost home, my 25 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm working on a couple of other videos, and you'll see them soon. God bless you. Have a great day, and be safe. Car accidents, trucking accidents, criminal cases, you know who I am. I'm here to help. See ya.